I was just talking. It's so weird. I think I have a clip from a stream last week that was like, hey guys, remember when we were talking about Islamic terrorism? Whatever happened to that? As an American, I think we have a greater chance of safety with Israel than any Islamic country. They hate us deeply, and they're incredibly aggressive, religious, and militant, which on its face, I definitely agree with. And I want to understand the conflict from the perspective of the people who are there. But at the end of the day, I am an American, and what I care about most is American safety and American lives. So I wanted to show you guys this this video here, and just get your thoughts.
Lord, it's going to be some liberal, isn't it?
Do you know how long it takes to gaslight yourself to actually believe that oppressed people will one day not want to rise up against their oppressor? How can you place someone under such extreme circumstances and not expect for them to one day be like, I'm done? Hypothetically speaking, let's say that you live in a heavily policed apartheid state. You have minimal resources, no military. Your opposition has the attention of the media, the empathy of the media. The strongest Western countries have already declared their support for them. And they possess the largest and strongest military in the Middle East because they had full support and financial backings from most Western countries, including the United States. If you can call this a fair fight, then you need to go ahead and say that you are pro-ethnic cleansing and you are pro-Palestinian genocide. Because, baby, if the stats are looking like this and have been looking like this, and your first response to the violence is, well, Hamas, I already know what you are implying.
Let me fuck this
So
girl's
I was
argument
gonna
up.
say, so let's stop there. And Jerkolani, you look like you are ready to attack. So please, what is so like the backdrop to all of this before you go off is I'm very confused as to how we see a lot of the street level American culture war stuff that people don't seem to understand, and yet they are taking sides and are so rah for something that they clearly don't understand. And now that I'm not understanding the nuances of this conflict, and then I see these same people who don't know shit about what's going on here take a side so quickly. Please go off.
I found one poll and went, "That's it, girl. I'm going to show this on TikTok as if I'm an authority or I understand anything about theology or migration or history." She's coming at it from a Black perspective, and you want to know what? Hey. We all have different opinions, and that's fine. She clearly didn't grow up in apartheid because she speaks perfect English, but I digress. Facts. I bet you she lives in some nice little cute suburb screaming at white people that they're racist. Looks like that's the situation there. But so I wrote down some notes, and I have a history of each time, because it said the violence and death toll, which this could all be true, but the amount of times that the PLO or then became Hamas, because Hamas got literally voted in as the Senate in Palestine. They run their country in 2007. We have in 1948 they signed 1987 they signed peace accords. Then after, there would be a 9-year war between Palestine and Israel.
So while that's happening, where is it, and how relevant and important is it to decipher the Palestinian government and military from Hamas?
They're no different. They really are. I mean, if you want to think about the percentages, like if you really want to talk about it, right? Like, let's talk about the amount of people
we here, baby, we here,
who are jihadists and who are Islamists that has shifted in the last 5 to 7 years to be about 40% of their fucking population. 40% of 1 billion people, it's 400 million people, are either in the government believing in the Hadith, which is that's not even a book you want to get into currently, or are willing to commit acts of violence and kill themselves as a form of martyrdom for their religion.
Rabbi Glickman saying, what are you saying that's an ADL talking point?
That's an ADL talking point.
I don't know. I'm just in the middle here.
It's a talking point to talk about numbers.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely. Well, no, not yet that it is, but it definitely seems like that there is a especially for the amount of time that Hamas has been able to do these things. If it were despite the Palestinian government, again, coming from the outside in a place of ignorance, it would make sense that the Palestinian government would want to squash that because it's not making them look good.
Well, officially in 2007, it was a codified doctrine that they would participate as their version of their body of Senate. Hamas.
Well,
group
so
of Hamas
I need to just jump in here real quick and just make a quick point. After Hamas was elected in, but after Hamas was elected in, they did go out and target their political opponents, and there hasn't been an election quite since. Saying like everyone in Palestine is pro Hamas is kind of an over exaggeration because there's a lot of people who are just going with the flow. Even with our revolution, it was about 20 to 30% of people who were actually active in the conflict for the Revolutionary War. So there's people who are actively trying to push a narrative, push a point and win political victories. And then there's our people who are just like, I want to feed my kid. I want, to, do, live my life. So, there is those people as well.
There's also
wherever there's unrest, there's going to be people who are innocent. But real quick, let's shout out to Xander Cruz with the $10 super chat. And of course, every single donation comes with a treat for my co-host, Morty. Thank you, sir. So Xander Cruz says, we must view what is happening as Americans and in the best interest of America and the West. I agree. Islamic leaders chant death to America and literally yell they want Islam in every household, even if by force. Yeah, so this is why I have trouble because I was just talking. It's so weird because I mean, I think I have a clip that is saved in my drafts right now from a stream last week. That was like, hey guys, remember when we were talking about Islamic terrorism? Whatever happened to that? And I certainly wasn't calling for it. But I was just like, it's so amazing how that seemed to no longer be a problem. Obviously, that it was not no longer a problem.
Jesus, okay, you knew it for profit. We understand.
I definitely didn't know it. But it's rearing its head again. And from the last time that it was what we were all talking about, I don't see what has changed in terms of the ideology that's behind these people who are looking to take over, looking at saying death to America and trying to spread Islam by any means necessary.
I mean, there is none. So like, the difference between what American Muslims are and who people who live out in the Middle East is their religion rules their land in a lot of places. Afghanistan, for example. Mm-hmm. You're not allowed to listen to music. Music is against the law. If you possess a vagina, you are legally not allowed to walk in a park. Not without a man. Yep. 0, you're not allowed there. You'll get arrested. Hijabs are mandatory. Like, there's no separation of church and state. So all of these liberals who are screaming at the top of their lungs, like apartheid. Yeah, but apartheid was about race. It had nothing to do with religion and beliefs, right? Like,
and so they're talking about apartheid, like South American apartheid.
Correct, which had mostly to do with the color of someone's skin.
Yeah.
And nothing to do with, the fact that if they were ruling our households, you would lose your sexual freedom, your reproductive rights, and LGBTQ rights, or whatever the rest of that goes. All of those.
We can get rid of those. Just kidding.
I do need to push back a tiny bit, and it's a little bit funny that the scientist is the one arguing for Islam here. There is fundamental Islam, and then there is a more moderate Islam. So countries like Iran, that is a theocratic state where imams and it's actually a fundamental Islamic tradition. It's not the same for every country in the Middle East. A lot of countries like Iraq, pre-Desert Storm was a modern country. It has had a major kind of issue with U.S. intervention. U.S. intervention has really destabilized the area and has led to a more fundamental Islam, coming to power. Because when your chips are down, there's not a whole lot, people look towards. And one of those things that people do look towards is religion. And that, people who are screaming the loudest is like, I'm the fundamentalist. You need to listen to me.
And hey, as a diehard atheist, I tend to agree that, and I mean, this is an aside, but they're the ones that are actually following the religion. So if you don't want to be what they're doing, then maybe you should pick a different religion. But that's a whole other story.
Apostasy is punishable by death in a lot of these countries, and apostasy is also leaving the religion.
Yep, that's it. Scott Joseph, welcome to the party, said after murdering babies and paying women, Hamas needs to find out. The Palestinians in Gaza cheered murder and pay dancing, singing, and eating cake. Thanks so much for watching, guys. If you enjoyed that clip, check out the full live stream link in the bio and catch me live every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. See you there.